Good.
So, the shir is about how will smicha come back when Mashiach comes. Smicha, real smicha. Nowadays, everyone usually after yeshiva, you study smicha, you learn Hilchos Basar B'Chol, you get tested, you get a smicha, but that's not the real smicha. The real smicha, the way it was in the times of the Beis Hamikdash, and the times before then, was that the first person to give smicha was Moshe Rabbeinu. Smicha means that you have permission to paskin certain halachos, like different fines, monetary. Someone does something wrong, you hurt someone, so they have to pay a fine for what they did. Only someone who has smicha could rule on these laws. Also, certain laws when it comes to giving someone lashes, right? If you do have they are their witnesses and they warn you, so you get lashes. So what type of basin can give you lashes? Only a basin that has smicha. And this smicha needs to go passed down from Rav to Rav to Rav all the way back to Moshe Rabbeinu. So, but after a while it stopped. The goyim they made a rule that the Yidden can't give any smicha anymore, and we don't have it anymore. So the question is, how is it going to come back? It has to come back at some point, either now when Mashiach comes. How is it going to happen? So the Rambam has a very controversial opinion, and it created a big machlekes in the 1400s, in the time of the Beis Yosef. And the Rambam has the opinion that if all the Talmidei Chachamim of Eretz Yisrael would get together, and they would decide that they want to make this person, they want to give a smicha to one person, so that they have the koyach to renew the smicha, which wasn't there before. If all the Chachamim get together and agree that they want one person, he becomes, the smicha is renewed, and after that he could give smicha to everyone else. So this is the opinion of the Rambam, and some people tried doing it in the 14th century, and it didn't turn out too well. So let's read about it. So let's see what the Rambam writes. In the first Marabokim, in Hilchos Sanhedrin, in Perek Daled Halacha Yerav, the Rambam says, "Nirin li hadvarim." It seems to me, she'im heskimu kol hachachamim shebe'eretz Yisrael limneis dayanim. If all the Chacham Eretz Yisrael agree to appoint judges, and to give them smicha, so then they have real smicha. They can pass in dinim of fines. They could give smicha to other people. Okay, so if so, ask Rambam, why were the Chachamim try so hard to make sure that the smicha didn't stop? The story is about Baba ben Buto. When they made the decree not to give smicha, he secretly wanted to give smicha, and they found out. And it says they shot like 200-300 spears into his body and killed him for that. So they tried so hard. So what was the big deal? Well, let them just wait, and then they'll all get together and they'll do it again. What was the big deal? So he says, why did they try so hard? So yeah, Rama explains because we're scattered all over the place. And it's impossible to get all the Yidden to agree together to give smicha to one person. And if you had someone who had smicha from someone who had smicha all the way back to Moshe Rabbeinu, you don't need to get all the Yidden together and all the Chachamim to agree to give one person smicha. Ella don dinei knasis lakol. He could pass in din for everyone. Shari nismach bi beistin. And then the Rambam ends off. This idea still needs to be finalized. It's not. He's not so clear about it. But the Rambam has this new novel opinion. That if all the Chachamim will get together, then the smicha will be renewed. So this, in the times of the when they first tried doing this was in times of the Rebbe of the Beis Yosef. It's called Mahari Beirav, Yaakov Beirav. So they tried doing this, and they sent around letters all around to get together everyone's haskama that they were going to give smicha to the Mahari Beirav. And so most of the Chachamim agreed, except for a few. One of them he's called the Maralbach. He wrote the Shuvas Maralbach, which is for Levi ibn Chaviv. So he wrote a whole long letter saying why he disagrees with it, and it was a whole back and forth. So he put a whole in his book. He has the whole back and forth, the whole correspondence. This is half of it. It's not like 100 pages back and forth. So, and they get pretty sharp with each other. It's very interesting. So, but so in the end, so what happened? So we'll see the Radbaz. He's my first on the Rambam. He writes the second Maramokin. So he says, "Aloshin says Samchu Chachmei Tzfas." Based on this, Chachamim of Tzfas, where the Beis Yosef and his Rebbe was, they were Seimir Tzfas v'Hagadol Shabahen, and the biggest one of them was Maribei Rav. Lismech Smuchin, to give smicha, v'Ladan Dinei Knossis. V'Lei Allah Biyadim didn't work out. In the end, they actually did it. They gave smicha to Maribei Rav, and then the Goyim found, and then whoever was the Arabs found out they wanted to kill him. So he had to run away, and he gave smicha to 4 other people. One of them, I think, was the Beis Yosef. But in the end, because of the big machlekes, it didn't kick off too well. They didn't continue it. And why? Because there was a chacham who lived in Yerushalayim who didn't agree, which this was the Malbach. And the Shalu SP Ba'idi b'Mitzrayim, they asked me, the Radbaz, Rabbi Nudav ben Zimra, he lived in Mitzrayim, the SP Chaveirei and his colleagues, V'lei hiskamnu, and they didn't agree. V'ani herachti v'isa tshuva levatel daitam. And the Radbaz says they wrote out land to against their opinion to follow the Rambam's ruling and to renew the smicha.
Because he disagreed with the Rambam, or was it because?
Multiple reasons. First of all, who says the Rambam? Right, multiple reasons. First of all, who says the Rambam is correct? Who says it is accepted? And that was one issue. And also other issues. If you do get smicha, we don't have the Beis Hamikdash. So even though we have smicha, it's questionable which halachas you could rule on. And another part of the question is, do we have someone who's actually befitting the position to receive smicha? To be smicha needs someone who's able to pass on halachas in the entire Torah. So these are a few of the reasons they discuss over there. So it gets, and also we're gonna get into what's the main basis of the Rambam's ruling. That's mainly what we're gonna focus on over here. And the main basis for the Rambam's ruling is, if you don't say such a thing, how else will the smicha return? We know that it says in Yeshai that Shiva Shetayach Kibarishena, the Eibush is going to return our judges. How is it going to happen? If no one has smicha anymore, smicha needs to be from man all the way to Moshe Rabbeinu. So if we don't have it anymore, how is it going to come back? So the only other option must be that we all get together and we give smicha to one person. That's how the smicha is going to come back. This is the reason. So they didn't discuss that. But first of all, when is I'm saying he's going to come back at what time?
Right away.
Before. So they didn't discuss Moshe Rabbeinu. They discussed why can't Mashiach or Eliyahu give smicha. But we'll see. That's where we'll see what we're going to get into.
So presumably would have the same problem.
So that's what yeah. So looking at the third Rambam, so in the Pirush HaMishnayos, the Rambam in the beginning of Sanhedrin explains the reasoning for this ruling. He writes, in the third Rambam, if you don't say such a thing, like which we explained before, it's impossible to find that the Beis Haggadah should return. Every one of them needs to have smicha. The Hakadosh Baruch Hu Yod, and Leibusher promised us that the basin will return. Shenema v'ashiva sheitayich keberishayna, I will return your judges like before. V'yatzayich kebat chilo, in your people go to for eitzes. But achrik, and then the pasuk says, achrik, and the pasuk says, yikra l'cha ir hatzedek. And then there will be the Ir Tzedek. Then Yerushalayim, the way the Rambam teaches, Yerushalayim will be Mashiach will come, and Yerushalayim will be rebuilt with the Beis Hamikdash. And the Zeyeh B'lei Safek Kishayachin. When will this happen? Kishayachin Abaydi Yisbarach Libis B'nei Adam. When Eibusha prepares the hearts of people, the Tarbez Zechusam V'Shukasam, and when our merits increase and our longing, the Shem Yisbarach for the Eibusha Ulo Teirah, the Tikadal Chachmasam. And our Chachma increases before Mashiach comes. So the Rambam says, you see from the pasuk that the return, that when all the shaftim, the judges and the smicha will return, this is going to be before Mashiach comes and before the before Yerushalayim and the Beis Hamikdash is built. I see from the pasuk that first Mashiach v'Shiva Sheftayich, and then it will be called the Ir Tzedek. Then the Ir Tzedek will be rebuilt. So back to what was bothering us. Why can't we say Mashiach will give smicha? Right, Mashiach will come and he'll give smicha. So the most basic reason is, you see, the smicha needs to come back before the time Mashiach comes.
The Shuvah Shtach is before Mashiach.
The way the Rambam is learning over here is going to be before Mashiach, before the Beis Hamikdash. The sheitim and the smicha is already going to be there. And second, this girsa doesn't have it, but there's the different translation of the Pirsha Mishnayos, which the Maralbach Maribei Rav has. The Rambam gives another reason why Mashiach can't give smicha, because he himself never got smicha. Right? So if Mashiach is going to be someone from our generation, so then where did he get a smicha from? How could he give smicha? Moshe Rabbeinu could give smicha, and someone who has smicha, Moshe Rabbeinu gives smicha. But how come Mashiach gives smicha if he didn't have smicha himself? So these are the two arguments why Mashiach can't give smicha. Because first of all, it's going to be before he comes, and second of all, he doesn't have smicha himself. So the Maribei Rav and the Ralbach, they argue about this point. What's going to come first? So smicha or Mashiach? So the Maribei Rav in the fourth Rambam, he explains the Rambam's opinion a bit more. He says, "So das Rambam mi efshar sheipon a Beis Hamikdash. It's impossible for the Beis Hamikdash to be built. Ache tasa hasmicha." And told us that the smicha is rebuilt. Shekein kasav and Pirush HaMishnah. This is what he writes over there. Upirushay shekodim sheyashuvu hasheftim. It says the Pirush is the first the sheftim will return, but achar tavi hayeshua, and that's when the geula will come. So therefore, so the Maribei Rav is saying that Adrabah, giving smicha now, this is going to help Mashiach come. Mashiach can't come until all the Yidden get together and we give smicha and we renew the smicha again. So this is the Maribei Rav's argument. He wants to pass him like the Rambam. So the Marabach argues. He says no.
These are all they're saying.
They're in the times of the right before the BC. So they're not Rishonim.
They're good Jews, don't worry.
They're like right after time. They're before the Shulchan Aruch, but right after the times of the Rishonim. So the Marabach answers back. He argues. He says no. He says the Mashiach is going to come before the return of the smicha. Before the sheitim return, first Mashiach is going to come. Maybe even the Beis Hamikdash. This is what he argues. What are you going to do about the pasuk? It says first Hashiva Shev Taich, and then Yikari Ir Tzedek. Then it will be called the Ir Tzedek. So he says it doesn't mean that the Ir Tzedek won't be rebuilt. It just means that it won't be called the Ir Tzedek. When could you call it a Ir Tzedek, a Ir, city of righteousness? When you have the judges, when you have the sheitim over there, that's when you could call it a Ir Tzedek. But until then, but the true Mashiach will come then, but the sheitim will return only after Mashiach comes. So in the fifth Maramah, he writes, "Begami zeh chazar b'psak mi'atam shekasafti." Right, and the Maravach also argues. He says that the Rambam he says v'adavar tzarich hechra. He backed off a little bit on his opinion. And Tam Shekasafti b'kontresi aleph. He wrote in the first reason why, in the first booklet, why. Because this that it says afterwards it will be called the righteous city. It's not talking about that's when it will be rebuilt after the sheitim return. Why? It's going to be built before the sheitim return. Rather, Ella Yud Al Shem Levad. It's just talking about the name. Shah Sheitim Yasu Mishpat Tzedakah. Since when the sheitim come, they will do mishpat and they will do tzedek. Therefore, V'lachin Tikare Ir HaTzedek, and that's why it will be called the city of righteousness. So they're arguing, how do you read the pasuk? Is first the sheitim going to return, and then it's going to be the city is going to be rebuilt.
The city is going to be called for the future.
The city, the Rambam, he says Mashiach is going to
be there, but the sheitim will going to be there.
It will be called the Ir Tzedek once the sheitim come. The Rambam, he says the Mashiach will come and Yerushalayim will be rebuilt and everything will be done. But just it won't be called the Ir Tzedek until you have a basin. You can't be Ir Tzedek if you don't have a basin. So this is the argument. What's going to come first, the sheitim or Mashiach? So the Rambam bumps into a problem. What's the order of the brachas and Shemona Esrei? Right, we say Tekabah Shefer Gadol, right? There's going to be Kibbutz Golias, and everybody we're going to roll the evening, going to come back to Eretz Yisrael, and then we say by Shiva Shev Techa, we daven that the Eibusher should return our judges, And then when is the bracha of Bias Mashiach and the Binyan Beis Hamikdash? It's much later. It's Samach David. It comes much later. And
It's even after Binyan Yerushalayim Lecha.
you say Binyan Yerushalayim and then comes the Samach David. So say even after. Yeah. What?
It's Kibbutz Galius, you said.
So yeah. So and the Gemara explains that the Seder is B'dafka. That the reason we put the word in the bracha is because that's the order it's going to be. Like in the Gemara in Megillah, in the 6th Maramakim, it says, right? After we say the Kabbah Shefer, which that's the Kibbutz Goliath, Nasadin B'Rishayim, then the Rishayim will be punished, which that's Hashiva Sheftecha. And then the Kiva and Shekalu Apeshim, and then after all the people do Averis are destroyed, which that's in Blan Al-Shin Malti Sifa, then Misrei Nemes Keren Tzadikim, then the Tzadikim will be exalted, which that's Allah Tzadikim. And then the Kivan Shanivne is Yerushalayim. Then Yerushalayim is built, and then there's a bracha, and then Bar David. Shnemar Achi Yeshuv Bnei Yisrael, Bnei Yisrael Kam Viksu Hashem Elokeichem Ves David Malcham. So you see from the Gemara that it seems to be the order is that first the Shoftim are going to return, and then Mashiach is going to come. So what's he going to do with this problem? What's he going to do with this? So the Marabach, he points out, you look at the Lashon is, what's the main concept? What are we mostly davening for when we say Hashiva Sheiftecha? So at first glance, what we're stressing the whole time is that the judges should return. But he says, but if you look at the wording, the way the Gemara Megillah says it says Nasadin B'Rishayim. What's going to happen is the Rishayim are going to be punished. He says the main thing we're davening for when we say bracha Hashiva Sheiftecha isn't that the actual shoftim should return. The main thing we're talking about is that the Eibishter should rule and punish the people who need to be punished. So what's the difference between Hashiva Sheiftecha and Val Malshin? Yeah, it's a good question. But what's the difference? I don't know. Different madrigas and Rishayim. Hashiva Sheiftecha, the Stam Rishayim, and Val Malshin is not the person. I'm not sure. I don't know. But he argues. He says that the main concept we're davening for is that the Eibusher should punish the Rishayim, and Derech Agav, once we're already talking about judging the Rishayim, so we also daven that the Shoftim, our judges, should come back and they can also judge the Rishayim. And this is in the 7th Maramakim. He writes, She'ikar birchas hashiva hi leimar. The main thing we're davening for when we say Hashiva Sheiftecha is leimar shakadish baruch hu eisadin b'rishayim. Is that the Eibusher should punish the Rishayim achar kibbutz golius. And the Mashe Kalu Hashavas Hasheftim Ba'isa Bracha. And this that we include the return of the judges inside that bracha. Hu lefishu hu meha Indian. It's on the same topic. We throw it in. Meaning hadin yasa since this din will be done by the Rishayim al yedei Hakadosh Baruch Hu through the Eibusher, therefore anu mispal lefnach Yisvarach we daven to the Eibusher sheyashiv sheifteinu kebarishayna. They should also return our sheiftim like it was before. Kadesha gam heim yochel b'deracha, in order that they should also go in the Eibusher's ways. Biyasu mishpat b'Rishayim, and they should do a mishpat. It doesn't mean that the Shaitim are actually going to come then. Really, the Shaitim are going to come back after Tzemach David Antachon, after Mashiach comes.
The Gemara that we had before is talking about the close inning of brachas. That has to be Allah Seder. He's not arguing with that. The close inning of the bracha is Allah Seder.
Yeah.
But some of the details could be added because it's medium.
Right, and he says the main thing, Hashiva Sheiftecha, the main thing he's talking about isn't the judges coming back. The main thing is that there should be a melech hamishpat. There should be a melech that should come, and he should punish whoever needs to be punished and take care of everything that needs to be done. So this is how he learns. And he brings another proof from the Gemara in Brachis, where it talks about Havinenu. It says someone's traveling and he doesn't have enough time to daven the regular davening, he should say a shorter prayer, of the bracha of Havinenu. So you would think, what words would it choose for the bracha of Hashiva Sheiftecha? You would think it's something about give back the judges, give back our shoftim. But no, what it says is that the people it says the same idea that you should punish the people who are doing wrong things. That's in the 8th Maramakim. The Gemara gives the shortened bracha. Havinenu Hashem Elokeinu. You should give us understanding, to know your ways. That's for Atachinin. Then Umalas Levavenu, when you should circumcise our heart. To fear you. That's for Hashivenu. Then V'tisach Lanu, you should forgive us. That's Slach for Slach Lanu. Lias Geulin, that's for Gael Yisrael. And Gael Yisrael. V'rachkein Mimachevenu, you should distance us from our hardships. That's for Refeinu. Then V'tishaninu B'nes Artzacha, that's for Barech Alinu, and then Fusin Mi'aba Tekabis, and she gathers us from all four corners. And then it says, V'atayim al daitcha yishpetu. And the people who are mistaken on your ways, who don't follow your ways, you should judge them. So it seems like over here, the main thing is davening is that the Rishonim should get judged, they should get punished. So this is another proof that he brings. If you look, Rashi over there reads differently. Rashi changes the girsa because it's taka strange. Why? The main thing is that the judges should come back. So Rashi, right on, the Rashi changes it, Lashon Acher, Hatoim b'mishpat yishbetu, meaning that the judges were giving the wrong judgment. The judges who are not passing the right halachas, you should help them. They should give the right halachas. Hashivim landim lishba kitvarechas. You shouldn't have to pass halachas properly like the way you want. So Rashi doesn't seem to be learning like the Maralach, but these are his proofs. The Chain Iker, he Rashi thinks this is the Chain Iker nearly, the Chain Bahan, Baal Hilchos Gdelis. He's one of the Rishonim. He also has that Gerson. So okay, so till now here is that we discussed why.
Like Rashi.
Yeah. So till now is the argument why can't Mashiach give smicha? So till now we argued who's going to come first, Mashiach or the Shoftim. And that's one reason that we argue about. And the second thing is Mashiach himself doesn't have smicha. So you say that's one thing, but the Malbach argues. Well, he says that he thinks Mashiach says in the Medrash that Mashiach is going to be even greater than Moshe Rabbeinu. So he thinks it's okay that Moshe Rabbeinu will be that Mashiach will be able to give smicha. But Baz also brings up the svara that saying how.
It's just
Right, I say he understands that Mashiach will be equal to Moshe Rabbeinu, and he will also be able to give smicha. And so, but now the next question is, what about Eliyahu HaNavi? Why can't Eliyahu HaNavi give smicha? So the Shutta is in the 9th Marmak, and the Ralbach actually he this is also part of this argument. He says that's another reason why we don't agree with the Rambam, because Mashiach will come and Eliyahu HaNavi will come and he'll give smicha. He writes, he says in Koshe Klau. The Rambam changed his opinion then. Why? There's no question if the Sanhedrin if all the Chachamim don't have a koyach lismech to give smicha. Why? He calls it. He says answers that he will come back with Mashiach, who's samuch and he has smicha, and kayim beguf and nefesh, right? And he still exists with his guf and his nefesh together. And he can give smicha to all the judges till the dayanim. And he says, "And Gam Mashiach ba'atzmei alpi ikarosi gesmicha mi mashikasa zal in the medrash bepirush hapasuk hamiyud Allah v'nasei mi Moshe." Says he'll be greater than v'nasei mi Moshe. So the Gemara says Yachal. So the medrash there says he'll be greater than Moshe. So therefore Yachal ismech lechol mi sheyia roi k'Moshe samach Moshe Rabbeinu ova shalom l'shivin zakeinu. So he argues and he says he thinks that Eliyahu HaNavi, he says he doesn't get Eliyahu HaNavi gives smicha. So why doesn't the Rambam go? Why didn't the Rambam say this? That why didn't he understand like this? So there's two reasons. Yunus and Aishas in the Sefer Tumen, he says that. Look in the Rambam in Hilchos Melachim, he says it's not exactly so clear when Eliyahu HaNavi is going to come. Is he going to come before Mashiach or after Mashiach? If so, he says that the Shoftim need to come back right in the beginning. When Mashiach comes, we're going to have the base on Mikdash, and he'll be there right then. So that's why the Rambam didn't want to say that Eliyahu HaNavi is going to give smicha, because we don't know exactly when Eliyahu HaNavi, he might not be there. He might only come later. So this is how the Tumen explains the Rambam should be here. the Maribe Rav in the letter while he was arguing, he gives another reason. He says that once Eliyahu Novi went up to Shemayim with the fire, he's just like any other. He's just like all other gracious tzaddikim that passed away, that they can't give smicha anymore. Even after they come back to life, even if they come back by Tchias HaMesim, so their smicha is expired. They can't give smicha anymore. They need to get smicha over again. He brings a raya from, there's a letter from the Tumas Hadeshin about Eliyahu Hanavi. If his wife, after he went up,
Exploration on these things?
after he went up to Shemayim, someone asked him, is Eliyahu Hanavi's wife allowed to get remarried? Because he didn't actually leave. Is she allowed to get remarried? So he writes. So he writes that even though he says that he thinks she's allowed to get remarried because it says it's Ishas Malach, right? Ishas Ish can't be remarried, but a wife of a Malach isn't considered. He became a different person. He's up in Shemayim. He's not a regular person anymore. So he says so over here. He's like someone that passed away. We treat him, and therefore it's just like his marriage certificate expired. So his smicha expired. And when he comes back, Eliyahu Novi is going to need to have a new smicha. So this. This is how he explains the argument.
Because Eliyahu's going to be very busy tomorrow.
Yeah, he's going to be very busy. And one of the...
Yeah.
And we'll leave it. So we'll leave it. So let's see like that. So in short, yes, we have argument how smicha going to come back. Mashiach comes. So either all the chachamim will have to get together and decide to give smicha.
That's how smicha now works.
Yeah, so to summarize, how will smicha come back? Either all the chachamim will have to get together and decide to give smicha to one person, or it will be through Eliyahu Hanavi, or through Mashiach. That was part of the argument, whether they will be able to give smicha. The Radaz gives another opinion way that it says someone of the Shvatim that were lost was Bnei Reuven, and it says they're going to come back before Mashiach. So he says could be they still have the smicha still being passed on from generation to generation by them, and maybe they'll come back and they will give smicha.
So the Radaz also gives another option, and Mashiach himself will come.
He does give that option. Yeah.